We're out at Goddard High School for this week's Male High School Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Distinct Inc. and Great Clips. And after a week of claiming the 5A Golf Individual State Championship, Goddard's Cohen Museousky is our Athlete of the Week this week. Cohen, first of all, congratulations. State championships are hard to come by, and that's a loaded field in 5A. But I know you were competing against some friends, so what was that like to compete in the state tournament, but have some familiar guys around you to kind of make it a little bit more fun?
Yeah, it's really a great feeling. Some of the people that were at the top of the leaderboard were from around here, and I've grown up with. So just over the years, I've gotten to know them really well. And it kind of brings that competitive aspect forward, just knowing, get to compete with these people I've already, you obviously want to do your best, but it's also great seeing them do their best too. And it's fun just seeing us all, throughout the year improve, and just competing with them it's just fun.
Absolutely, and I bet it's a little bit more fun too that you know who you're in the group with sometimes, right? It takes a little bit of the pressure off and kind of helps you to just kind of relax and do what you do best on the course. But it's an unreal feeling. I would actually not know personally what it's like to win a state championship. So tell me the emotions once you realized I won this thing. What was it like, and especially to have people around you?
It's exhilarating. It's so exciting, just in the moment, just thinking I'm a state champ. It feels great. And, it brings forward some motivation too, just going, okay, well, did that last year. I want to keep this going, keep it going into the summer, and for the future. It definitely brings, that motivation, forward.
Absolutely. And, I always like to ask golfers about how they handle the weather, because some days it's hot and sunny, some days it's windy and rainy. How does weather change how you play your game?
Weather definitely affects it, especially the wind at our regionals. We had pretty big gusts out there, and it really affects every shot. You can't just go in thinking oh, the wind's not going to do anything. You might get a gust and it might really mess you up there, but you also might get lucky throughout there. So definitely brings forward some up and downs into the game.
So I love to ask golfers what their favorite part of their golf game is. What is it that you're the most proud of about what you do on a golf course?
I feel like I'm really confident, just every shot, just being excited to hit the next ball, and just the competitive aspect. I'm really excited for it. And also, I love putting, I love just being able to analyze the greens and make the best attempt I have at it. And that's where you score. That's where it gets in the hole. So that's always kind of a thrill, when one drops.
Absolutely. That's where I'm the worst. I can get to the green, but it's putting the ball in the hole that's a problem for me. So if I were to ask you one tip about putting, what would make my short game better?
Again, it kind of goes back to confidence, you'd be surprised how just being confident and just knowing, you kind of having that mentality of I'm making this is going in. It really can impact your game too, and also speed control. It's huge in golf.
Is that a tempo thing?
Yeah,
is it a rhythm?
It's kind of a rhythm, kind of just a feel thing.
Okay.
Just going through the motions.
I like it. So some athletes I talk to will play specific music to lock in or pump them up before they play. But when you're out on the golf course, do you listen to music? What do you do to kind of get in that mode?
Yeah, when I'm on the range, I'll put some AirPods in, and I'll listen to some more newer country like Ty Myers, and I feel like it kind of calms me down a little bit and kind of focus on the moment and just kind of what I'm doing, right there. And also sometimes, Spotify will just put something else on. I'll just listen to it. I'm more focused on hitting the ball, but yeah.
I like it. Now, do you have a favorite golf course that you've played? Here in Wichita, across the country, where's the best place you've ever played?
Flint Hills National is really nice. It's in Andover. It's a great place. It's phenomenal. And then I was fortunate enough to go to Pinehurst last year, and I played course number 8, and it was extremely nice too.
That's awesome. Lots of great places to play across Kansas. I mean, here in Wichita, there's tons of places. So each one's a little different. Do you like going in knowing what you're up against with a course, or do you like it like you show up and it's a little bit of a surprise? What do you like more?
I really like being able to kind of plan it out, just before time, just thinking this is what I'm going to do through the round, and then also just being able to adjust to what I need to do in the moment. That's also kind of it kind of brings some fun into it.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. And I mean, if you've got a plan, you can kind of vision it, right? Think about it and what you want to do and how you want to play things out. So when you're using some strategy, do you have a coach that's helped you kind of mold the way you strategize about your game?
Yeah, I've been going to Josh Cook since I was 9 years old, and he's really impacted my game. I couldn't be here without him. Just teaching me how to even swing a golf club, just every aspect of it. He's been a huge part of it, and yeah, I'm very grateful for him.
That's amazing. And, to be with a coach that long, and you still got a few years left, I
Yeah.
bet you're excited about where you could possibly go, right? And you mentioned that winning state this year kind of gives you a little more motivation, like you want to continue to do this in the future. So if you had to give me one thing in your golf game that you have to improve to make sure you're back here next year, what would that be?
Definitely consistency. I mean, golf's a game of consistency. If you can hit the same shot every time, I mean, golf, it would be pretty easy. So, I mean, you strive for that. You're never going to fully achieve it, but you want to be the best you can be in that aspect. So definitely consistency throughout my whole golf game.
This is Cohen Museousky. He's just completed his sophomore year here at Goddard and is again our 5A state golf champion. Cohen, not a lot of people may know this about you, but you faced a lot of adversity in your life. You overcame leukemia at a really young age, and I'm sure that's kind of molded you and kind of how you approach just everyday life. But could you kind of just tell us how that has shaped you into who you are today?
Yeah, well, I had leukemia when I was, say, around 2, and I don't really remember it much, but I remember some of the checkups. But mainly, it kind of like gives me motivation when I wake up throughout the day, just knowing, I'm lucky to be here. I could be in such a worse spot, and just being fortunate enough to just, go and be able to play golf. I'm out on the golf course, getting to skip school sometimes and just go play golf. Having fun. I mean, I'm very fortunate and lucky. So definitely motivates me, to also be the best person I can be golf-wise, and just hopefully everything-wise.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned school and missing school for tournaments, so I have to ask you the academic side. What's your favorite subject right now in school?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I really like weights. We have a phenomenal weights coach. He actually just left for Andover Central. But yeah, I mean, just even the people and teachers here, I mean, they make every class nice. They're all great.
What's it like here at Goddard when you have a community like this that kind of rallies around its schools and supports athletes like yourself? I know there's a ton of school spirit in this hallway. So what's it like to be a part of this, Lion family?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, everybody's so hyped and just positive and uplifting and just great people to be around. So it's definitely a great feeling, to be part of the, Goddard Lion.
Absolutely. And so team-wise, golf is an individual sport, but you've got teammates, some that are maybe older or younger, and you're trying to make everyone around you better, right? So how do you embrace the teammate role for a sport like golf that's maybe a little more individual?
It kind of goes back to being in that like positive, I guess, attitude, and just being kind of accepting that everybody's at different spots and started at different places, so nobody's going to be kind of in the same position. And it's really cool to just see like your teammates, you be positive and try to help them. You give them tips, but I mean, on their own, they're getting better, and it's really cool. And for both like sides, you just watching them and for them, just to see them progress throughout the season and just their golf career, just get better and better. It's really cool to see.
I bet. Now, back on you, what is your favorite part, like favorite feeling in golf? Is it hitting a big putt? Is it flushing a drive? What is the best feeling in the game of golf?
Ooh, I mean, I love when read a putt perfectly, you hit it where you're trying, and then it goes in the center. It feels great to know, I just made that hole look easy. Generally, if you make a birdie with that, oh, you're hyped up. But it's also really cool off the tee, when you're picking a target in the distance, you can hit it straight at it, and then you split the fairway. It's a great feeling, too.
You're describing feelings that I could only hope and dream to know someday. So I'm jealous of you. But the last question I have to ask you is, moving forward, like we mentioned, you are motivated and you want to be back here next year. What would it mean to you personally to say you've done this again, especially knowing what you know now and how it took you, or what it took you to get to state champion this year?
I mean, it'd be a great accomplishment for me. Just that is even just feeling of being accomplished, and I mean, the work's never done though. It's always a grind and trying to be the best. So even if, it happens again, it's still like, well, what can we do next? Just trying to keep that going, that role.
Okay, I lied. One more question because that was a great answer. Golf is a game of constant challenges. Do you enjoy that chase, like feeling like there's always work to be done? Because to me, that's kind of what overwhelms me with golf is that I fix something someday and then the next day it's something else that's going wrong. So do you enjoy kind of that constant challenge?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a huge part of the game. That's kind of what the fun part of it. You know, you get a challenge that you've maybe never been in before, and just being able to overcome that and just do your best and, be like, I did that. It's a great feeling. And you're not going to make it all the time. You might fall, you might fail, but it's kind of that getting back up and fighting to, accomplish something again. That's the fun part about golf.
Awesome. This is Cohen Museousky. He is our 5A state golf individual champion and our high school athlete of the week, brought to you by Distinct Ink and Great Clips. And you're listening to ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.